All right, here's the quote of the day. There was book throwing, there was cussing, there was all of that. I had secondhand embarrassment. That's the quote of the day coming from Amos Quick, the state house rep from Guilford County. That was his reaction after hearing about the Parents' Bill of Rights, and it got heated. The House Oversight Committee scheduled the hearing to question the school board chair for the Chapel Hill Carrboro City Schools. In a social media post, George Griffin said he thought parts of the Parents' Bill of Rights were discriminatory. Republican lawmakers said Griffin's district was not complying with the rule. And that's when House Majority Leader Brendan Jones pulled out a book called Santa's Husband, claiming it was available to elementary school students.
Is this okay in your guidance?
I'm not aware that that book is.
You're the superintendent. You're not aware of what's going on in your school system? You don't know what's printed? It's trash. That's what good that is.
I've been elected here for going on 10 years, and I have to say to you, I don't apologize for anybody else, but I had secondhand embarrassment for the way this meeting was being conducted.
Now, blow-ups about books aside, we should talk about whether or not Chapel Hill Carrboro City Schools did violate the Parents' Bill of Rights, because the district claims that they are in compliance now. To figure out exactly what is going on, I spoke with WRAL state government reporter Paul Spey. Paul, thank you so much for joining us. First question I have is, why were state lawmakers so frustrated with this school district?
Well, it all started with a social media post a couple months ago. There's an account on X, also known as Twitter, called Libs of TikTok, and they elevated this video of the Chapel Hill Carrboro school board chairman saying that he didn't like this law that was passed in 2023 called the Parents' Bill of Rights, and that he didn't think they should follow some of it. Now, that video is from January 2024, so a lot of time has passed since then, but it got people so riled up, that social media post, that it prompted our state lawmakers to invite those school district officials to Raleigh to question them about it.
Explain briefly the Parents' Bill of Rights and what Chapel Hill Carrboro City Schools allegedly did to violate it.
Right, so it's a set of laws. There's a lot in that particular bill, and the school board adopted a lot of it. The two parts they didn't adopt and didn't want to adopt at first back in 2024 were one part that said if your child wants to go by a different pronoun or even a different name, you have, as a teacher, you have to tell that student's parent. The other part was just about governing conversations of sexual orientation and sexual discussions in the classroom for kids in kindergarten through 4th grade. Those are the two things they saw sort of as discriminatory.
It sounds like they've since gone into compliance with those things.
Right. So in the video, he said as much as what you just said back in January 2024. Then in February 2024, the board chairman sent an email that said sort of the same thing. We're going to adopt all but these two things. After that, he says, and the school system said, we are going to comply. We're going to direct our staff to come up with a set of guidelines for how to deal with these situations when they do come up in the classroom.
Paul Spey, state government reporter, thank you so much for speaking with us and explaining all this. This is obviously a complicated topic that affects so many kids in our state. Here's a look at how we got here. Debates around parents' rights in public schools started back in the 1920s. There were cases about banning foreign language classes and laws requiring all students to attend public school. It wasn't until the 2020s, though, that things really ramped up. The COVID-19 pandemic took students out of the classroom. Many parents wanted them to go back, and for the students who did go back, they had to wear a mask, another policy that many parents didn't like.
I would prefer the choice. I'm the parent, it's my child. I want to make the choice whether my child should wear a mask or not.
And when class was remote, parents didn't just see homework, they saw the full lesson plan right at their kitchen table. And many did not like what they were seeing.
What children are being taught today in schools by radical Marxist educators and administrators is sickening. It is filth. It is full of lies.
In 2021, the focus was on critical race theory. Some local school districts took action themselves, like Johnston County Schools.
The policy doesn't specifically ban any books or topics. It does ban teaching the notion that racism is a permanent component of American life.
Lawmakers followed suit. At least 44 states considered bans on critical race theory, including North Carolina. But Governor Roy Cooper vetoed it. In 2022, the focus then shifted to gender identity and sexuality. Grassroots groups like Moms for Liberty started showing up at school board meetings challenging library books.
Can you explain why this subject matter should be part of an ELA curriculum for any age or grade?
And again, lawmakers followed suit. The Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank, created a blueprint. They called it the Given Name Act. It would ban schools from changing names or pronouns for a student unless the parents allowed it. The idea started popping up in state legislatures with a new name, the Parents' Bill of Rights. Florida passed their version in 2022, and critics gave it a different name, the quote, "Don't Say Gay Bill."
You're clearly singling out, clearly discriminating against in this situation, and we feel it.
In 2023, it was North Carolina's turn. Senate Bill 49 required schools to notify parents if a student wanted to change names or pronouns. It required schools to give parents full insight into curriculum, and it banned lessons on gender identity and sexuality from kindergarten to 4th grade. Governor Cooper vetoed this bill too, but this time Republicans had the votes in the House and the Senate. They overrode Cooper's veto, and the Parents' Bill of Rights became law.
We're not knocking our school and our staff, but we're just saying family is first.
This is bad for business. It's bad for LGBTQ kids.
School districts like Wake and Durham counties started approving new policy to fall in line with the new law. But a handful of Republican lawmakers said Chapel Hill Carrboro City Schools did not fall in line and called them to a hearing.
It's trash. That's what good that is.
And that's how we got here. And I do want to note, as WRAL's Flynn Snyder reported, that the book that Representative Jones just threw that you saw in that video allegedly was never in the school's libraries. Republican Representative Jeff McNeely warned school officials that they could face consequences if they don't comply with this bill, suggesting the state could cut funding. Lawmakers would likely have to pass a new bill for that to actually happen. We're going to keep you posted on that. If you have any questions about this topic or any other stories in the newscast, send us an email, 7 p.m. at WRAL.com. Your feedback drives this newscast. Tell us what you want to see on the news, and we will talk about it right here at 7.